What exactly is a valid contract? Now, all of us at some point in our lives are going to enter into a contract. It may be a contract that you're signing for a mortgage, you may be signing for a car loan, or it may be a contract of some other type. But nevertheless, many of us, if we're walking through our adult lives, are going to enter into a contract, but you need to know what's going to make that contract valid. And that is what we're going to discuss in today's Tuesday Tips, so stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, certified financial planner and president and CEO of the Retirement Education Center. And I want to welcome you once again to our Tuesday Tips, where today we are going to be discussing what is a valid contract. Now, entering into a valid contract is very important because if that contract goes sour, you're going to want to make sure that you have legal footing to fall back on in order to make sure that you're made whole. So let's go ahead and talk about the elements of a valid contract. So what is a valid contract? If you're going to have a valid contract, it needs to consist of these 5 elements that I'm going to outline for you here. The first element of a valid contract is an offer. You basically first have to make an offer. For example, you offer to pay a professional $2,000 to upgrade your home. At that point, you now have the first element of a valid contract. You have an offer there. The second element that you must have in order to have a valid contract is acceptance. So someone has to accept that offer. The professional accepts the offer and agrees to perform the work on your home. So now you have 2 elements here of a valid contract. The third element of a valid contract is consideration. Now, when we're talking about consideration, that means that you may give that professional a check for $500 to start the service. That's your consideration. It may be something like a down payment. Now, I do want to make note that when you're talking about consideration, it does not have to involve any actual exchange of money. So you don't have to give that person money. It could simply just be a promise to pay. Like, I'm going to pay you this, when you've actually completed 50% of the work, something of that nature, but you've still given consideration for the job. Now, the fourth element of a valid contract is that you must have competent parties. Now, what is competent parties? When you're talking about competency, it requires that both you and that professional, whomever you're entering into that contract with, be of the age of majority in that particular state. And both of the parties must be of a sound mind. So if you're entering into a contract with a minor, let's say that person is 15 years old, then you're not going to have a valid contract. Now, if you enter into that same contract and that minor has not back maybe 4 or 5 years, you absolutely will not have a valid contract to stand on. Now, the last element that you must have in order to have a valid contract is what they call legal object. Now, what is this? That means that the work involved cannot violate the law. It has to be legal. So if you have a contract to murder someone, a contract for hire to kill someone, that's probably not going to be a legal contract that you want to take to the court system and try to uphold if someone failed to do the duties of said contract. So understand that once you have all of these elements, you then will have a valid contract. The lack of having any one of these elements will make that contract voidable. So I really do hope that the information that we shared with you today provided some insight to you on what would be a valid contract. Please note that this information is for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for a fiduciary financial advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the link on the screen and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today. And if you found this information to be beneficial, all that we ask is that you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with others.